Well, the cash rate is at its lowest point in 2 years this morning, with the Reserve Bank moving to deliver relief for millions. But what does this mean for homeowners, businesses and the broader community? As Jane comes in from the side now. Come on, Jane.
Okay.
Here we go.
Made my way over.
Mark
Good
Burris
morning.
is in the house for us from Yellow Brick Road Home Loans, and Rory Lynch, a homeowner in Brisbane. Mark, to you first up. What did you make of it yesterday? Should they have gone a bit harder, a bit longer?
I'm happy for the 25 basis point reduction, but I would like to see a little bit more in the rhetoric. So instead of sort of putting us in this position, well, on one hand, I might have to put rates up, and we did consider an interest rate increase, and on the other hand, we might have to put rates down. Stop that rhetoric. Tell us that we are now going to get more rate reductions, put a bit of confidence back into the economy. But we have record bankruptcies at the moment in terms of businesses, small business owners, and, give us some confidence back, please.
Rory, let's bring you in now. With this rate cut, it must be welcome relief for your mortgage. How do your repayments change?
Assuming that mylenderloans.com.au passes on the full cut, I think it'll drop by about $47 to $48 per fortnight. Again, assuming it's passed on in full.
Okay.
Look, I know that you're going to get a better rate with Mark, so you stay on the line after all of this. Look, Mark, it's so interesting that you raised that, because it feels to me like there's different speeds in the economy and different people are feeling different things, small businesses for sure. There are others who are really struggling. What does this do to the housing market, given there are so many trying to get into it? What's going to happen this weekend?
Well, that's one of the really interesting things, Carl. So in the February rate reduction that we had on the 18th of February this year, we saw house prices increase. Then they sort of flattened out a little bit when the Reserve Bank governor started giving us the rhetoric. No more rate reductions. Probably went a bit too far, so we'll just have to wait to see how the year pans out. Houses started to level out again. But just remember this, for every 50 basis point rate reductions that we get across the board, lenders will lend you 5% more. Borrowers, they take that 5% more and they just spend it at the auction. They don't put it in their pocket. They go, oh, we've got 5% more to spend. So if I could lend you $1 million last week, I can now lend you $1,050,000.
Good maths.
That $1,050,000, you go straight. Correct. I already practiced that one. So for that $1,050,000, I put it in the auction. You don't say, oh, I'm still only going to spend $1 million. I'm going to spend $1,050,000 because every other single person in the room got the same approval, and every other single person in the room wants to be.
So it drives up prices.
Just pushes prices up.
And it's harder for first home buyers to get it.
So no solution.
Yeah.
Rory, what are you going to do with the savings?
Look, I mean, the previous rate cut, I pretty much didn't actually change my repayment, just to sort of nibble down at the principal and the interest a little bit. But this time, I probably will need to pocket some of it to cover rising body corporates and increased groceries, etc.
So is it going to make much of a difference to your day-to-day?
Look, it doesn't sound significant, but I mean, I'm a single dad with paying a mortgage and run a pretty tight budget. So $47, $48 is getting close to 20% of our fortnightly food budget for myself and my 5-year-old son. So it's not huge, but it's not insignificant either.
Yeah, there was a time when that wasn't considered a lot, but these days it's considered a hell of a lot, right? What's your advice to folks out there?
Well, someone like Rory, g'day Rory, how you going, mate? Someone like Rory, don't relax.
Good, Mark, thank you.
Don't sit back and think, oh, I'm sweet and that I don't need to pay my mortgage down with the extra money I got. And if all of a sudden I've got a rate reduction and maybe there's signals that there might be more rate reductions in the marketplace this year, that doesn't mean if you've been working up until the 18th of February at an extra job, or if you've been doing a few extra hours to get a bit of overtime or whatever you might have been doing to make more money, don't stop doing that. Continue to make extra money if you can and pay that extra money off your mortgage. Don't relax, because she said last night in the press conference, anything could happen from here. We've got tariffs, we've got the government's back in, we've got more spending, we've got a budget coming out next week. The budget next week could be really scary.
All right, that's an ominous warning from you. Thank you so much for being with us. I wish it was a much nicer way to end the interview, but thanks for that, Mark.
No worries.
Real
Thank you too,
piercing
Rory.
gaze.